The GPS died at 6:52 on a Tuesday, and I remember the exact minute because it turned out to be the last honest number I would ever see. We'd been 3 hours west of home when the little blue dot on the screen shuddered, split into 2 dots, and then quit altogether. Searching for signal, it said, and kept saying it, patient as a nurse, all the way into the dark. I should tell you where home was. The plant in Lordstown had gone quiet the year before. One Friday, the whistle blew and the parking lot emptied, and it just never filled up again. My severance check was folded in the sun visor above my head, folded so many times the crease had gone soft as cloth. Meg kept it up there instead of in the bank, like if we cashed it, it would be real. And if we didn't, we were only borrowing this bad luck for a while. Her pill bottle rattled in the cup holder every time we hit a seam in the road. She'd stopped apologizing for the sound about 100 miles back. We were driving to Grand Junction because her brother knew a foreman who knew a guy. That's the whole American story right there, isn't it? Knew a guy. My wedding ring spun loose on my finger when I gripped the wheel. I'd lost weight I hadn't meant to lose, and up on the mirror, my mother's St. Christopher medal swung back and forth, patron saint of travelers, watching the road not go anywhere. There's a turn, Meg said. There wasn't supposed to be. The map on my phone, before my phone gave up 2, had shown one long gray line with no exits for 60 miles. But there it was, a gravel throat opening off the shoulder, and a sign beside it, a real green road sign, the kind with the town's name and an arrow, except the name had been sanded off, not painted over, sanded. You could still feel the ghosts of the letters if you ran your thumb across the metal, and I know that because later on I did. We need gas, Meg said, and I need a bathroom, and that's a town or it's nothing. I took the turn. God help me, I took the turn. That's the whole story, too. The gravel ran for maybe 2 miles, and then, all at once, we were on pavement. Old pavement, cracked and patched, but pavement and streetlights wet and porches with the lights on gold behind the curtains. A whole town, breathing in the dark, and not one thing on any map I'd ever held. Main Street. That's what the corner said, Main ST, and every other street sign was blank tin. There was a courthouse with a clock tower, and the clock had stopped at 11:52. I noticed because the moon was up, and it lit the face like a corn. They were waiting for us on the sidewalk outside the diner, 4 or 5 of them, and when our headlights hit them, they smiled. I have thought about those smiles more than I have thought about anything in my whole life since. They were warm. That's the thing nobody understands when I try to tell it. They were the smiles your grandmother gives you when you walk in the door at Thanksgiving. And they held them a beat too long. 1 full second passed where a real smile lets go, so that the warmth kept pouring out of their faces long after any feeling behind it could have lasted. A big woman in an apron came out wiping her hands. "Oh, you poor things," she said. "You came off the state road. Come in, before the cold gets in your bones." Her name, she said, was Alma. She ran the diner. She sat us in a booth with a cracked red seat, and she brought us pie before we'd asked for a single thing. Blackberry. The filling was too dark, closer to black than purple, black as a thing left too long in the ground, and the seeds got in my teeth like grit, and underneath the sweet there was something else, faint, coppery, like I'd bitten the inside of my cheek. I ate it anyway. I was so tired, and it had been so long since anyone had been kind, that I ate the whole slice and I let it be kindness. Meg ate hers too. She was smiling. I remember thinking, with a little flush of relief in my chest, she hasn't smiled like that in a year. That should have been the first thing to scare me. It wasn't. It was almost the last. "You'll want to be getting on," I said when the plates were clean, "but I don't suppose there's a station open this late." "Oh, you can't leave tonight," Alma said, still smiling. "Roads are flooded out past the mill. County closed them at supper." I looked out the window. The street was dry as a bone. The moon was hard and white in a sky without a single cloud in it, and I could see 3 streets deep down Main, and every inch of it was dry. "It looked clear coming in," I said. "It comes up fast," said a man at the counter I hadn't heard sit down. "The water, you'd be surprised how fast." He was still smiling when he said it. They all were. And here's the thing I want you to understand about that moment. The thing I keep trying to make people feel. I believed the dry street with my eyes, and I believed the flood with my whole tired body, because I wanted to. Because there was a warm bed being offered, and a soft voice offering it. And I was a man who hadn't been able to give his wife a single soft thing in a year. Mrs. Ferris keeps rooms, Alma said. Just up the block. She's expecting me. Expecting me. I heard it. I swear to you I heard it, and I let it slide right off me like water off oilcloth. We walked up the block. Mrs. Ferris's boarding house was blue in the day, I'd guess, gray in the moonlight, with a porch swing moving a little though there wasn't any wind. She met us at the door in a housecoat, and she had our key already in her hand. The room was clean and smelled of cedar. There was a Bible on the nightstand, and a pitcher of water, and 2 towels folded into perfect squares. Meg was asleep before I'd got my boots off. She slept the way she used to before the plant closed. Deep and easy, one hand open on the quilt. I couldn't. Something in me wouldn't lie down. So a little before midnight, I went out into the hall to find a glass or a light or a reason. And at the bottom of the stairs on a little podium, there was a book. A guest book. Leather gone to suede at the corners, a fountain pen chained beside it. I don't know why I opened it. I've asked myself that 1,000 times. I opened it and I turned to the last written page, expecting to see nothing, expecting the anticlimax that lets a tired man go back to bed. I saw my name. My name in my own hand. I know my own cross T. I know the way I loop the G, and beside it Meg's name in Meg's hand. And a date beside it. Not tonight's date. I turned the page back. There we were again and again. Our 2 names, our 2 hands down the years and down the years, every 10 years. Neat as fence posts. 1970, 1960, 1950. The ink going brown, going old, going back and back until I turned to the very first page, the paper soft as cloth from 100 years of hands. And there at the top, first line, first of all the guests who ever came. Our names. 1900, 1890. Written by us, waiting for us, older than us. I don't remember the stairs. I remember Meg's shoulder under my hand and my voice saying, "Get up, don't ask, just get up." And I remember her not asking. That was the mercy. She took one look at my face and she didn't ask. And then we were in the car and the engine caught on the first turn, and I have never in my life loved a machine the way I loved that engine turning over. Main Street was empty. The porches were dark now, all of them. Every warm gold window gone black at once, and that was worse than any crowd. I drove. I found the gravel throat where we'd come in, and I took it fast, too fast, stones banging up under the car like knuckles, Meg braced with both hands against the dash, and neither of us saying one word. The gravel ran out. We came up onto the state road, open highway. I could see the yellow line unspooling ahead in the headlights, and my whole chest came unlocked, and I said, there, we're out, baby, The road curved. It curved gentle and long, the way a highway does, and I followed it because there was nothing else to follow. And it brought us down a slope and past a courthouse with a clock stopped at 11:52, and up ahead a corner sign said Main Street. I stopped in the middle of the street. My hands were shaking on the wheel. "Turn around," Meg said, very quiet. "Just turn around and go back the other way." I did. I drove out the way we tried to come in, east instead of west, and the road curved, long and gentle and patient, and it brought us down past the mill and up the slope, and there was the courthouse, and there was the clock, and there was the corner. Main Street, Main Street, Main Street. I want to tell you how many times we did that. I have tried to count it, and I can't. The gas needle didn't move. That's a thing I'll never forget sitting here now. The gas needle never dropped. Not by a hair, no matter how far we drove, because we never went anywhere at all. The town had folded the road into a ring and dropped us in the middle of it like a coin in a well, and every loop brought us home to Main Street, again, until the sky in the east began at last to go the color of a bruise. I stopped the car outside the diner. I put my head down on the wheel, and Alma opened the door of the diner, in her apron, with the light coming on gold behind her, and she smiled at me. Warm, so warm, 1 full second too long, and she said the thing that finished me. "You always try," she said, gentle as anything. "First morning, every one of you always tries." She stepped back and held the door. "Come in, hon." Pie's fresh. You'll feel better when you've had a little pie. There's a photograph on the wall of the diner. I've had a long time to look at it. It's up behind the register, brown and curled under the glass. And the little brass plate underneath says Founders Day in a year. I won't tell you because you wouldn't believe me. It's the whole town lined up on the courthouse steps in their Sunday black, squinting into a sun 100 years gone. And near the end of the second row, between a man with a watch chain and a woman holding a child, there's a couple. He's got a wedding ring gone loose on a thin finger. She's got her hand open at her side, easy, the way she sleeps. They're smiling, both of them, smiling right into the camera, right down the years, right at me, 1 full second too long. It took me a while to understand. It takes everybody a while, Alma says, and she'd know. The flood was never coming. The flood is the kindest lie the town tells, because a lie about the weather is a thing a tired man can swallow. And once you've slept one night and eaten one slice, you're in the book. And once you're in the book, you were always in the book, all the way back, because this place doesn't keep time. It stopped keeping time at 11:52 of some night nobody remembers, and everything that ever wandered in off a sanded sign is here, is now, is always. Meg doesn't cry anymore. That went first. She says when she talks about the town now, we should get the porch swept. We've got folks coming. And I used to hate the sound of it, and now I don't. And I can't tell you when hating it stopped, which is how I know I'm nearly all the way in. Because I've started to feel it too, that warm thing. It comes up in my face on its own now, when the headlights swing off the state road, 2 little lights, lost and grateful. And I go out onto the porch to meet them the way I was met, and I feel my mouth pull wide and hold 1 second too, and it doesn't feel like a mask anymore. It feels like kindness. That's the horror of it, the real one. The one under all the others like copper under sweet. It feels like kindness. So we smile at the newcomers. We sit them in the cracked red booth, and we bring them pie before they ask. We tell them about the flood, the terrible flood out past the mill, and we watch them look at the dry street and decide to believe us because they're tired, and it's been so long since anyone was kind. And when they've gone up to Mrs. Ferris's with their key already waiting in her hand, Meg takes my loose ringed fingers in hers on the dark porch, and we sit in the swing that moves without any wind, and we look up at a sky with no cloud in it anywhere, and together the two of us in our own 2 hands, down all the years there are, we pray the roads stay flooded. If this story put a little chill in you, do me a favor and tap that like button. It's the single biggest thing that helps this channel grow and pushes these stories out to more people who love a good scare. Subscribe and turn on the bell for a brand new story every single day. And if you know someone who'd appreciate a tale like this one, share it with them tonight. Thank you so much for listening and for watching and for spending a little of your dark with me. There's another story waiting for you right there on your screen. Go on. One more won't hurt. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Drive safe, and if the sign's been sanded blank, keep driving.